What does this character do again? I. Oh, now I remember this character. Yeah. Okay. Hey peeps. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I'm busy. Anyways, so Ryu, uh, biggest biggest problem by far is that most of everything, like he has he has a fine fireball. He's a DP, so you can play like some sort of semblance of neutral with that. But it's not going to be in the way the game's offense is structured, of where you can and cannot get significant damage. That's not really uh. The problem is that he doesn't get damage from doing this. And he doesn't have very good offense because his frame traps are garbage. He doesn't have very good footsies because while his buttons are okay, they all hit around the same range. They're not that great. A lot of other characters have better footsies and better normals, but most importantly, those other characters can convert those normals in neutral into big damage, knockdowns, setups, all sorts of stuff. Whereas Ryu can just poke. This is the character. This Ryu can poke, and occasionally, like if the opponent lets him like get a jump in or something, he can do big damage. So, anyways, in terms of, stuff that I would actually... So the reason why, in case you don't know, his frame traps or his offense sucks. Let's start there. Okay, biggest problem is that his normals don't have a great way to convert on hit or on counter hit into significant damage. Unless he's in this range right here, or he's in this range and he lands solar plexus. Okay? He can get damage off of that, and he can get damage off of that. Or like that, from slightly farther away, okay? That's about it. Thanks to, like, the donkey kick, he can now at least convert into damage from farther away, because he can do, like, that. And if you recognize the opponent's standing, you can do that. But it won't work if you can't do, like, say, that into that at the max range into donkey kick. Because his moves have a lot of, like, pushback on hit, which makes them not ideal for that sort of thing. And, yeah, you can convert like that into crouching medium kick because it has slightly farther range than crouching medium punch. But then, at the range where it does have, more range than crouching medium punch, it won't convert into anything but, like, EX Tatsu or EX Fireball. So, you still have to spend a bar to get a knockdown. His knockdowns are good when you land them, but... Well, the donkey kick ones aren't that great, but... So, yeah, basically, he's threatening when he has, like, this range, because he can at least get a knockdown, but then any further than that, you are mildly threatening, because if you get a medium punch counter hit, you can get a knockdown by recognizing it and comboing into sweep. That is basically Ryu's ability to get knockdowns. But the biggest problem with this is that medium punch sucks on block. It's only +1. A lot of people respect this, which is why Ryu can occasionally... See, Ryu, in his ability to win matches through offense, is almost entirely dependent on whether or not the opponent recognizes that medium punch is only +1 on block. So here we have Cammy, okay? Reversaling with a 3-framer, crouching jab. So if we are interface and we do standing medium punch, what options do we have to frame trap her? And the answer is almost nothing. Medium punch again gets stuffed because it's a 5-framer and it's only +1. Any other medium, of course, is going to be too slow. Lights, 4-frame lights will trade, which is advantageous for Cammy usually. And Ryu has a 3-framer, but it has no range. If, like, say, the opponent isn't going reversal, you do medium punch on block, not close enough for it to connect, which means that you can't really frame trap it after the +1 situation. So, because she's punching into the active frames of it, it'll still trade in this situation, but the reality is that you have this medium punch that you can't frame trap off of. You literally cannot frame trap if you get this move blocked. So, even though you can, like, to some extent pressure with this move, because if you get the counter hit, you can convert from really long range into his sweep, like so. So even that, and that's your only way to get that. Your only other option for creating, like, yeah, your only other option for, you know, landing hits from any further away that will actually lead into a knockdown is either, like, whiff punishing and spinning bar, like so, getting a buffer with back hard kick into, or a hit confirm into the heavy donkey kick, which is inconsistent because at the range, like, at the range where it'll hit twice, like that, is pretty much the only range where you can actually see it hitting twice. Even if you catch someone's extended loom with the first hit of it going up, like that, it's still not going to hit with the second hit properly, because the pushback on all of its normals is so gigantic. So they'll get pushed out of range, and then you won't get the second hit. So it's very difficult to actually hit confirm that at range into the heavy donkey kick, even though it does combo from really far away. So you buffer it from back here, and that's still a heavy normal that's pretty easy for better characters to whiff punish, characters that can actually whiff punish and then go into moves that will get knockdowns, like Cammy can whiff punish with crouching medium kick into spiral arrow. And that's the case for all of his stuff. All of his stuff leaves him wide open for the opponent to either just wait and whiff punish or just, you know, do anything else. So his only real options for getting knockdowns in this range is like whiff punishing himself and spinning bar, or getting heavy punch counter hit, crush counter, getting standing heavy kick, which is riskier. It's more like you would use this against certain moves or like fireballs, or this solar plexus. Other than that, he doesn't really have just a normal that he can use that he can safely buffer, because you can't safely buffer in any of his Tatsus, obviously, since they whiff on crouching opponents and are heavily punishable. And they don't even really combo from that far away off of some of his normals. So yeah, that is the life. The life of having decent normals, you know, not the best, but, you know, decent normals, and like a fine Shoto game of, you know, doing things into fireballs to create frame traps and whatever, but all of that stuff is just pokes that won't lead in any significant damage, and all of this stuff is very susceptible to stuff that does get good damage in this game, like really good crush counter normals that will crush counter all of these buttons that he's pressing, just as small pokes, like any of his medium punch that he just walks forward as pokes. He can't, even if he gets the hit, he can't convert on reaction into significant damage unless he has, like, super to confirm off of a fireball. No, yeah, that's pretty much the reality. Is that for any of these situations where you're actually going to be pressing these buttons or anything, you could just get crush countered or beat out on startup or randomly whiff punished by a vastly superior normal that will be buffered by a better character into a knockdown, into damage, and so on. So, like, there's no fixing that, but if we were just talking about, like, techniques that you can use that aren't commonly known or commonly utilized to get a little bit better with the character despite his obvious shortcomings. Back when I played Ryu, like Season 1, basically, I really liked doing... I didn't like crouching medium kick or medium punch as much. I mean, crouching medium punch is actually, like, the better poke into fireball. The only problem with it Even though crouching medium kick has slightly more range, it's slower, and it doesn't link into the fireball very well. But crouching medium punch also doesn't easily create a frame trap. So if it's blocked, then it's a true block string, which means that you can't really like sort of have that mind game of whether or not you're going to pull the trigger on doing the fireball, get a little bit of damage. But yeah, anyways, I really liked, because it had almost as much range and it was much faster, I liked doing light kick into fireball, which I kind of suck at doing now, because you have to really like stop if you're walking forward, you have to really stop moving early, like right before you hit the light kick, so that you don't get shoryuken and you get a regular fireball. But yeah, if I was like playing footsies, that is one of the buttons that I would use very frequently into fireball. And it combos on counter hit, which means you can link it into super on counter hit. So I found this button to be much better at playing this game than like his other buttons were. But it is kind of risky because you risk like screwing up the input and then getting that. But yeah, it's pretty good. Beyond that, you have like Jodan kick setups. So like meaty fireballs off of like, you know, optimized damage. If you wanted to get like a reset, you would go for like that, because that's the one that's actually plus after you forward dash. You have buffers with like I was talking about, back hard kick into a heavy kick, donkey kick. You have little, like on counter hit especially, little micro walk combos, because standing medium punch is so plus on hit. So you can do small micro walks, so you can get like 3 mediums in a single combo. So it's like, say you do crouch jab into standing medium punch, because that's plus 2. And then that's 5 frames, so it'll catch a counter hit. If you're doing it point blank, like that's not going, you're not going to be in range for another standing medium punch. If the opponent is crouching afterwards, here, hang on. Yeah, if the opponent is crouching afterwards, when you catch them with the counter hit, you'll be able to link crouching medium punch into medium kick, donkey kick. But instead, if they're just standing, the only way to really convert off this on reaction, other than just doing the sweep as the counter hit combo for standing medium punch, is do a slight micro walk forwards and then another medium punch, and then you can link that into other stuff. So another example of micro walk combos is crouching medium punch on block is plus 2, so you can frame trap that into standing medium punch. But then after, like, once again, you're at that counter hit situation, you can just go for that. That's the easy thing to do. React to the counter hit and then just do sweep. But you can also, if the opponent is standing, you can micro walk forwards and get light kick into medium tatsu. Because nothing actually works at that range, but you can get a micro walk forwards. That you can do on standing opponents, and then if the opponent's crouching, you're still not in range, but you can get like a micro walk forwards into that. Crouching medium kick, or medium punch into a medium kick donkey kick. There is one other thing that you can, even though medium punch sucks on block, there is one small thing that you can do to actually make it slightly more threatening, even though it really isn't going to be any threatening using this technique. But when you have V-Trigger ready to activate, you can do, because medium punch has a target combo, like that. Same with heavy punch. Heavy punch can do that into the, whatever it's called, target combo. But if you delay it, you can actually create a frame trap with medium punch into the heavy punch follow-up. And so you can use that as a frame trap instead. And you can do that from like basically any range the medium punch will hit from. So it's actually, if the frame data on the follow-up wasn't so god-awful, it would actually be pretty useful. But instead, it's like minus 9. Yeah, minus 7 on counter hit, so minus 9 on hit, and minus 16 on block. So the only way to actually make it any meaningful or useful is to cancel it into V-trigger activation. But that is an option for a frame trap. Obviously, like, it's important to know, like, your optimal combos in different situations, so... that. But one situation where you might find yourself in a few occasions, like, say, if you're in the corner, if you go for a cross-up or something, or, you know, in any way where you're in this position on the offense... so wall bounces like this, the wall bounce depends on how close the wall is. So regularly you can just get like stuff like that, but if you're in the corner, it's garbage. Like, it doesn't do anything. Same is true. Abigail's is better, and he can still get other options from it, but Abigail, like, for example, if he does his wall bounce command throw in mid screen, he can get like the partial charge back heavy punch loops in V-trigger 1, but if he's in the corner, he doesn't have time to charge it up, so he has to do EX Abigail flip to be able to do that. So Ryu's is even worse. You basically can't even do anything off of it. It's pretty useless. But conversely, if you're in the corner, this is the one situation where you have enough space to get an even better knockdown than usual. So usually, you have this, and your frame advantage is not that great. But if you do it in the corner, you have an even better frame advantage because he takes even longer to reach the wall and bounce back. So you get your optimized combos like that. And if you want to, like, side switch again, you can do, like, the first hit of that into light Tatsu, and it will side switch regardless of if they normal recover or back recover. And, of course, knowing your optimal V-trigger stuff, like... one thing to note that I don't think a lot of people know is that Ryu's super, when he's in trigger, see, his regular super just does that, but when he's in trigger 1, his super actually does stun. So Ryu has like one of the highest, like, you'll rarely ever get this situation because Ryu doesn't really get to like control neutral well enough to push to the corner. But Ryu does have, like, a super good stun combo that he can do. Where he can basically build enough stun that he can just get the stun with a back throw afterwards. But beyond that, you know, his trigger's fine. Actually, it's hot garbage because it runs out so quickly and anything that he does wastes it even more. But it speeds up his fireballs, makes them better, like, recovery. But, like, there's not really a point to a defensive zoning trigger. Because it's just going to run out eventually. Like, it doesn't matter. Him just sitting back here throwing fireballs, always being able to anti-air, doesn't really do anything for him. Because the opponent's just going to wait for the trigger to run out. So, like, that doesn't matter. So, in terms of how it helps him with his offense... you know, it helps him a bit with his neutral because it you get knockdowns off fireballs, you get good knockdowns. You can convert off of his normals from farther away because the fireballs are sped up. You get higher juggle points, which means better combos. And I think you get more stun output off your uppercuts? Yeah, you do. Yep. Okay. So yeah, this helps him. You can also charge your fireballs, which means that you can, like, say... You can, like, do a normal into the fireball, and then you can, like... If the fireball actually, if your normal actually connected, you can release it immediately. But if it's blocked, you can recognize that and then charge it for slightly longer or whatever, you know, play that mind game, even though it's not a very good one. Because if you charge to, like, level 2, it'll be, like, 0 on block, which isn't even that great. Regularly, it's -2, which, you know, is helpful, considering that it's normally, like, -6. But, yeah, one thing I wish, it still doesn't combo raw from standing light kick. You still have to do EX for it to cleanly combo from light kick, unfortunately, so that, like, screws with his ability to get, like, also screws with his ability to get actual meaningful frame traps and stuff, because it means that he can't do, like, that, and then get a knockdown without spending bar, if the opponent's crouching. And his throw sucks now. I think it's really bad now, because even though he stays closer and gets, like, actual meaties, whereas some characters don't get actual meaties, I still think it's worse, because he has, like, the smallest frame advantage out of anyone in the game, I think, off of his forward throw. He's only +4 afterwards. So you can get, like, a meaty light kick, you can get, like, an almost meaty crouching medium kick to catch them if they're walking backwards or something. But, like, it still sucks. If I wanted, like, this to be buffed a bit, I would want it to be at least plus enough that you can do heavy kick immediately afterwards, and it would hit on a meaty frame. Ah, yes, one other thing to note. This is, like, a good thing and a bad thing. So, basically, Ryu's Fireball actually functions a bit like some of the other, like Ibuki's V-skill, where it pulls backwards. You might have, like, heard about this in Season 1, where, regular Fireball from Ryu pulls back his hurt box around the middle, and then EX Fireball pulls back his hurt box around his feet. So, like, if I were to do, like, heavy punch right in his face, and he was going to do, like, say that crouching medium punch, I'm still in range. I'm not moving at all here. But anyways, if I were to do, like, a Fireball immediately afterwards, I'd pull back my hurt box such so that his attack misses, and I get a whiff punish. The only problem with this... Now, this is handy, having a move that works like this. It is a good defensive tool. The only problem with this is that, one, you can't really convert it into anything under any situations, unless you, like, recognize the whiff punish and then go for super immediately. Because you can't, like, activate regular Fireball into trigger. And if you do it with EX Fireball, it's not going to work most of the time, because it has different hurtbox properties, and, you know, it beats lows, but it doesn't beat mids as well. And if you're in trigger, those properties just go away, so they become shitty and don't avoid attacks anymore. So your really only tool that does this is regular ass Fireball, which you can't really do anything with, and it's not even plus on hit if you're doing it at, like, this close range where you would be evading attacks. -1 on hit. So that sucks. But anyways, know that, you know, like, study a lot of characters' frame traps and see where you can get, like, V-skill parries and then punishes on a lot of regular characters, like normal block strings or certain situations, and study where you can use Fireball to get out of it. So yeah, V-Trigger 2 is really useful in a lot of situations. it creates this field around you that hits in front of you, above you, behind you. Whenever you do the attack, whenever you parry something, it just creates an attack field. And the best part about this is that the attack field is actually plus on block, which means that you can guarantee your way out of certain situations. Plus 5 on block. So even if it's baited, you're still plus. I mean, unless they just outspace the actual attack field, which is invisible, so it's impossible to see where it hits, but... And Ryu's, heavy uppercut has a projectile invuln, but it's a little bit better than like some of the other ones. Not as good as like Sagat's ability to uppercut through fireballs, but Ryu can still interrupt a lot of fireball strings. Like so. And don't forget to use the aerial Tatsu as a corner escape tool. Alright, yeah, I mean, that's about it. The character is very simple and has a very straightforward, simplistic problem of, not having the same tools that other characters have to get damage and knockdowns in neutral. And not having, having a plethora of buttons to use on block that don't necessarily, work together. Like, if you want to do something that's plus on block that'll allow you to get frame traps, then you basically have to give up on actually getting a combo once you land those hits, or do medium punch to get the combo, but then give up your ability to do frame traps. So, he has rough pressure problems. He doesn't have... His forward throw has, no corner carry at all. And, yeah, he just kind of struggles. He'll land a lot of hits, but, on the whole, he'll just get out-damaged by other characters that will land much, much heavier hits. And just have a more versatile set of tools. If I wanted something to be buffed, I mean, it would probably be the range and effectiveness of a lot of his normals, especially these ones and standing heavy punch. All of these I would like to get buffed as footsie tools. I don't really care about his fireball game. His fireball game's fine, but buffing his fireball game would just make him more like a lot of the other characters in the cast. Buffing his fireball game, it would just make him more like a Guile, or changing how his fireballs function would just make him more like Akuma. His fireball game is fine. I would just really like to see them buff his regular ground game. And fix the pressure issue. At least make this +2 on block, at the very least. And I would really like it if that target combo could be used as a frame trap. And it wasn't -16 on block and -9 on hit. I would like it to be I would like standing heavy punch to just be buffed in general. I would want it to be an actual combo tool, say +5 or so on hit. And, -1 or -2 even on block. Or -3, and then make the target combo -3 or 4 on block, and then +4 or something on hit. And then I think that would be a good trade-off. That would definitely help diversify his moveset to make him more interesting to play and do combos with, as well as give him more versatile assortment of pressure tools and such by allowing him to get target combo frame traps with that. But yeah, making this +2 on block is an absolute necessity, and probably decreasing the amount of pushback on hit that some of his other normals, especially crouching medium punch, which pushes his opponents back miles every time it hits, making it very difficult for it to combo off of, even with the things that will actually combo, standing light kick. It just sucks. Like but yeah. And also, I would appreciate it if the like pullback hurt box doesn't just disappear when you go into trigger, because that sucks. I mean, there's a bunch of things that they could do to buff the triggers itself, especially trigger 1, which is like really bad at this point. But yeah, I think that would be like a good starting point. Give him like buff his pressure game, buff his normals, and like if they wanted to allow him to get like conversions or things, you would either have to like significantly buff his standing hard punch to actually be like a decent crush counter to use in neutral like this. That would be a good start. Or buff his ability to convert into like donkey kicks. But I think that if they just wanted him to play this sort of non-super aggressive buffery kind of playstyle, they would have to significantly buff his ability to do this. Just Shoto stuff. Pokes into fireballs. Because his pokes into fireballs are not even that great. And that's pretty much all he has going for him. Other than good damage if the opponent, like, lets him jump in.